Spencer Raskoff is the Zillow co-founder, angel investor, and Palantir board member, and joins us this morning. Spencer, welcome back. Happy 4th.
Thanks, Carl. Great to be here.
You make creating a competitor to Facebook sound easy.
Well, look, it's not easy, but I think the point I'm trying to make is that Facebook has been under pressure for years, from regulators, from the media, from advertisers, from former employees. And let's go back in time here. Let's remember, first it was election hacking, right? Russian intelligence buying advertising. Then it was privacy issues around Cambridge Analytica. Nobody even talks about Cambridge Analytica anymore. Remember that? Then it was M&A, their acquisitions of Instagram and WhatsApp. And now it's hate speech and misinformation. So we've been through this before. I think what we've learned is that it's not likely to have a material impact on the business. Goldman Sachs put out a research note saying as much yesterday. Your prior guest, Mark Mahaney, confirmed it in his opinion as well just a moment ago. The only two things that really matter to Facebook that can get the attention of management or can change policies or the company's philosophy are current employees and competition. So current employees. Facebook management cares deeply about making sure that the company is the best place to work, that they attract, recruit, retain, and motivate great people. I think if you care about these issues of misinformation, you need to try to find ways to activate and catalyze existing employees to speak out against management internally. And that's starting to happen a little bit. There have been walkouts, there have been difficult questions. I think that's interesting. That might have an impact. But the bigger one is competition. And we know that Facebook cares deeply about that. We thought maybe it might be Twitter, but of course, Twitter didn't really go truly mainstream. It focused on news and live and less on kind of status updates and photo sharing. We thought maybe it might be Snap, but Snap never truly went mainstream to the extent that Facebook and Instagram have. It might be TikTok, and it might more likely be some startup. And, there was a time before Facebook. Before Facebook, there was MySpace. Before MySpace, there was Friendster. Before Friendster, there was AOL Communities. So there will be future social media channels built. Facebook won't necessarily own them all. And I just personally am pretty skeptical that these advertiser boycotts or, people discussing on cable television, their consternation about Facebook policies. I just don't think those really change things. I think the employees and competition are the only things that get attention.
Right. Right. Well, I wonder, Needham, for example, has a note out today. Laura Martin thinks that the boycott could go into November. Her broader point is that these companies that have joined the boycott, maybe some of them have honest disagreements with the speech policy at the company, but maybe some of them are more interested in loosening Facebook's grip on their ad budgets. What do you think the mix is?
I think it's mostly the latter. So remember, companies slashed ad spend in March, worldwide. So now to be, pulling out social media advertising, well, most of them have already ramped down advertising dramatically already. So it's not much loss for the next couple of months when there's good press around boycotting to pull advertising off of Facebook or social media. I think for most of them, they would love to spread it around and have more places where they can advertise. Every startup I talk to is still advertising a lot on Facebook. And in fact, they're just seeing better economics than ever. This was a big theme in the startup investing community. In March, when traditional advertisers started reducing their ad spend, not just on Facebook, but on TV and everywhere else, the cost per acquisition or cost per activation or cost per lead, the advertiser efficiency metrics all went up for startups because now there's less competition for keywords or for social media advertising. So, these are marketplaces where there's equilibrium. Some advertisers pull out. That means everyone else's ROI improves, and then they put more spend in, and then it kind of finds its equilibrium. Again, I'm pretty skeptical that this boycott will have an impact on Facebook's business results.
So, Spencer, let's talk. It's Deirdre, by the way. Let's talk about some of the potential competitors. There's the conservative social media darling Parler. Its CEO was on Squawk Box just this morning. Now, this is a social media platform that's beloved by conservatives, but it's plagued by trolls and imposters, hate speech and misinformation. Does having another social media platform that's newer create a whole new set of problems? Why not simply fix the ones on the biggest platform, which is Facebook? Do you think, as an entrepreneur yourself, that change actually needs to occur at Facebook?
Well, these problems aren't yours to fix or mine to fix. They're Facebook's to fix if they choose. And Facebook's taken the opinion that it's a town square, and people say all sorts of nasty stuff to each other in a town square. Now, advertising is a little bit different. Here's where I think Facebook is in the wrong. I think Facebook should do what Twitter has done and turn down political advertising. I think the headaches from political advertising, which clearly have misinformation and are prone to election hacking, as we saw in 2016, I just think that money is not worth it, and they ought to turn that away, as other social media platforms have done. But trying to police the conversation in the town square by labeling misinformation inside of it, I just don't know how you do that. And most of the suggestions that I've seen from pundits and others actually have the unintended consequence of strengthening Facebook. There are things like, well, Facebook should label when things are incorrect, or Facebook should penalize when people get too many strikes. Well, all that does is make the arbiter more powerful than before. So I don't see how you regulate that kind of speech inside of a town square.